Behind the scenes, the WNBA is going through a rough patch that has nothing to do with rivalries, all-star picks, or the never-ending debate about conflicts between rookies and veterans. Not at all, the issue is much worse. The league needs to solve this problem if it wants to keep, develop, and protect its best players. Caitlin Clark is at the middle of everything. The newest star in women's basketball is having health problems that could endanger not only her season but also her whole career if they are not fixed. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you liked what you read. It's true, more than 83% of viewers still haven't subscribed. It's easy, quick, and free, but it means a lot to us. So, have you already signed up? Good. Thank you so much for your help. Go back to the video now. Now, it's Tim Grover. To be clear, Tim Grover is sounding the alarm. He helped Michael Jordan become Michael Jordan. Grover, who is known for turning Jordan's early injury-plagued gears into a base for GOAT-level dominance, thinks Clark's position is dangerous. Grover says that Clark's current string of injuries is caused by the same biomechanical issues that almost end Jordan's prime before it even started. He thinks that the situation is not only bad, but it could also have been avoided. Let's break it down. Clark joined the league at the height of the era of women's basketball achievement. She wasn't just picked up. She had shows that were packed to the brim, college performances that broke records, and a personality that turned casual fans into obsessives. The Lord anointed her. But that huge rise had a price that no one saw coming. Her body changed dramatically in a way that the people who were in charge of her development did not notice. Clark put on a lot of strength over the summer. Photographs of her made her look strong, active, and mean. Analysts said that her body was ready for the pros. How determined she was to get in better shape. People who commented praised her determination to get in better shape. By the commentators. On the other hand, Grover thinks that this kind of praise is based on a dangerous mistake. He thinks that the issue is not one of strength. That's what it is, sequencing. Clark really did get bigger. Did her joints, ligaments, and nervous system all change at the same time? Did the way she moved change to fit the extra weight her body was carrying? In Grover's world, strength doesn't mean anything if your body can't use it safely. This is where the red flags appear. Clark has missed a few games this season because of groin strains, tight quads, and soft tissue problems that seem to happen on both sides of her body. Grover says this is a typical corrective cycle with a clear pattern. One side fails first, then the other side tries too hard, and in the end, both sides fail. Do it again after you rinse. Also, the injuries will keep happening and probably get worse each time until someone steps in to fix her biomechanics. Grover also says that most professional teams, including what appears to be the Indiana Fever, are still using a dangerously old way of thinking. The production is still the most important thing. The methods are meant to make athletes stronger, faster, and better at jumping. Only a few trainers, though, know how the human body stops itself. Instead of teaching how to slow down, they practice speeding up. We need to talk about this because careers end when people can't control their speed. Clark is a stop-and-go machine on the court, even though she has a lot of skill, range, and vision. She often jumps, turns, moves her center of gravity, and slows down after full runs. Also, her soft tissues, especially those in her hips, quads, and groin, will tear if they aren't adjusted to handle the stress, which they are. Grover goes further than physics. The WNBA's policy on dealing with injuries is also called into question, and to be honest, it doesn't look good. Reports say that Clark has already started getting medical help from other places. That's bad enough on its own. When a newbie looks for information outside of her team, it sends a strong message. There isn't much faith in the system that helps her. Grover says the system is reactive instead of proactive. During practice, players change things. They covered it with ice. Write down your goal. It hurts. It was put to rest. That being said, where is the proactive solution? Where is the warm-up? Where is the personalized motion analysis that finds danger before it hurts someone? That doesn't look like it's happening. Clark is instead being treated in an old-fashioned way. If something goes wrong, try again with a different ice pack. If not, make things right, send her out there, and hope for the best. But it's not just about Caitlin Clark. Grover's response shows that the WNBA has a bigger problem with how it treats its players. Even though these people are very good at what they do, they are not recognized as professionals and are not given the care they need. They are being trained and treated like they work on the weekends. Even with these worries, remember that Michael Jordan had problems with his ankles and groin early in his career. He also had problems with movement, stiff joints, and muscle issues that could have ruined his genius before it even started. He had a trainer named Tim Grover who didn't care about league rules or club politics. A trainer who took his movement apart from the inside out, put it back together, and made an engine that would last for years. Clark doesn't have that right now. She keeps getting hurt and the clock is ticking. Then there's a fuss in the locker room away from the court that gets to the media. At the moment, the Fisherers are showing up in Indiana. Being criticized by family members, hearing rumors of envy, and having strong feelings can be hard for any athlete, but it's especially hard for one who is trying to get better. That kind of setting is dangerous. Recovery isn't just about the body, it's also about the mind and the heart. When there is security, trust, and a sense of purpose around them, the best athletes heal faster. Because they are stable, trusting, and focused, the best athletes heal faster. Clark isn't doing any of those things at the moment. She's feeling stressed. There are high hopes for her. No newcomer has ever had to deal with a spotlight that was as bright as hers. So, what's going to happen next? Things will keep going like this if nothing changes. Clark's condition will get worse if she has to play games before her body is fully healed, if she doesn't do any more than basic strength training, and if her mechanics aren't looked at and changed. An injury to the groin can lead to hip impingement. The patellar tendonitis is caused by quadratic forces. One issue affects more than one. It's more than just a bad season in the end. It's game over for me. It's a shot to warn. There is no damage to Caitlin Clark. Grover's words make it sound like Caitlin Clark is failing in a system that doesn't support her intelligence. By a league that hasn't made changes to its medical facilities to keep up with the needs of its growing player base. Because of a group that seems to care more about how things look than how long they last. It might be time for a change. Clark's entry into the WNBA brought a huge amount of attention, money, and new fans. At the moment, she is the league's most valuable asset, but assets need to be kept safe. It's not possible for her to be both your marketing engine and your recovery afterthought. When you drive a Ferrari, you have to check the tires all the time. You can't run in a marathon if you have a sprained ankle. Why are we putting up with the most important rookie in league history getting hurt just to fill the seats? It doesn't look far ahead. It's risky and can be avoided. The answer is easy to understand. Get the experts to help. Check out the people who are trained. Bring something new to Clark's growth. Change the ways that things are moving. Bring down the return rate. Since we've seen what happens when you put short-term media attention ahead of long-term success, make a system that does just that. He goes by the name Michael Jordan. The WNBA is using the case of Caitlin Clark as a litmus test right now. The talk goes beyond how to handle injuries to what kind of league the WNBA wants to be. Does it want to be a modern professional group that values high-quality medicine, long life, and athlete growth? Or will it stay stuck in an old, reactionary loop where athletes suffer, are praised for their toughness, and then are forgotten when their injuries threaten their careers? At this point, all signs point to the second option. It's hard because things didn't need to be this way. When Caitlin Clark first joined the league, she had all the help a rookie could want. There are high hopes. There is a lot of fuss, and any WNBA player has never been in the center of more attention than they are now. The money is hers to spend. She's not just a player. She is the league's main way of getting the word out. The way it goes viral on social media, how it promotes tickets, and how it rates things. She has done more than any commissioner or campaign to get more people to watch the WNBA. Even so, she is treated as if she is not an important part. She is being taped up and pushed out the door for another Facebook post, an ESPN highlight video, or a game that sells out. Stop making her scream. Tim Grover sees what's wrong. He has also met Dwayne Wade, Michael Jordan, and Kobe Bryant in the past. He has reached a high level of success in his work and knows how to keep it up. Grover knows that real talent doesn't come from playing through problems, which the WNBA, the Indiana Fever, and maybe even Clark's close friends and family don't seem to have. This method was created after the problem was solved. Because of this, Grover's training philosophy was never just about getting stronger. The goal was to make them whole. Controlling strength, neuromuscular sequence, movement mechanics, and fixing even small problems before they got worse were all important. This method focuses on accuracy and patience instead of worrying about how well you'll do. Compare this to what's happening now. Clark has been sent back to the court more than once this season, usually after short breaks or confusing injury reports. Her minutes change, and so does how powerful she is. Some nights, she looks like herself. People around her notice that she is hesitant to drive, that her gait is stiff, and that she is not stable on her sides. All of this shows that she is still getting better. But there are too many streaming deals, too many stadiums that are sold out, too much pressure, too much money on the line, and too many cameras following her around. The machine has to keep running even if some of its parts are broken. And that can't last, though. Grover isn't being cautious about making short-term changes. This is a call for a complete start over. Clark's wounds aren't the only problem here. Because of where they live, they get long-term illnesses. Let's talk about getting bigger. Before his first season, Clark had clearly put on weight. Her upper body strength got a lot better. Most people think she is now ready for the NBA because her legs look stronger. However, Grover says that this change might have happened too quickly. Biomechanics. If you don't change how you move, rapid muscle growth can have a big effect on biomechanics. This quick increase in muscle mass can have a big effect on biomechanics, especially if the way the person moves doesn't change. Muscles that were used to firing in a certain order are suddenly overpowered by new strength. Those in the core can't keep up. Control of a joint gets out of sync. Ligaments and muscles that were already under a certain amount of stress are now being put under more stress. This group did not have the right training. The frame has not been made stronger, but the engine has been made stronger. It's like putting more horsepower into a car without changing the brakes, suspension, or tires. At first, it might move faster, but something will break at some point. The injuries Clark got in his groin are a classic sign of this illness. There is a reason why groin strain happens. Groin injuries happen when there is uneven force absorption. This can be because the hips aren't lined up right, the physics of deceleration aren't working well, or nearby muscle groups that aren't developed enough or are working too hard. Even more worrying is the fact that both people were hurt. The one side goes first, then the other. That clearly shows that you are getting paid. When one side gets damaged, the other side gets stretched out even more. After a while, it breaks down into a loop that Grover has seen 100 times. This almost stops Jordan's rise before it even starts. To break the pattern, Grover dug deep and slowed things down. If you looked at the whole kinetic chain and the injury site, Jordan, how did you land? During a jump stop, how did he turn? It sends a strong message to the next generation of female basketball players when institutions are lazy, careless, or short-sighted and let that investment slip away. You are only important when you help other people. That's not something a professional sports league should ever say. What's going on now? The way forward is clear. Clark should be taken off the court until she is fully structurally sound if the WNBA and Indiana Fever are ready to take action. Now that the swelling has gone down, we don't know if she can play or not. No more experiments with time limits, which cause them to be used too much. 2. Hire a professional from outside your company. Grover should be involved, or any other expert who approaches biomechanics and rehabilitation in a similar whole-person and individualized way. Trust is very important, and Clark's search for second opinions shows that she doesn't have it anymore. 3. Create a setting that helps rehabilitation instead of getting in the way of it. This includes changing how people feel about intelligence instead of toughness. Good players don't just keep going even when they're hurt. They learn the skills they need to keep their bodies in good shape and train them. People are talking about something more serious instead of basketball as they pay more attention to Caitlin Clark's performance and recovery. How can we keep greatness when the basic tools that men use to protect it break down? It's not just a strained groin and sore legs that hurt Caitlin Clark. That's what the difference is between having promise and being ready, being smart and being responsible, and being strong and being able to defend yourself. Also, the issue being talked about is bigger than Caitlin. What happens when great talent is put into a setting that isn't ready for it? This event shows what can happen. The WNBA needs to make a choice about this because sports medicine practices are out of date and people still think that pain is a sign of strength. You must change or you will fall behind. A huge chunk of fans are not sports physiologists. Let's be honest. They don't know about the biomechanical problems that each sickness is caused by. They only see the best parts. They see Clark come out of a sign, make crazy passes, or fall down during a drive and grab her leg. People think that everything is fine when they hear the phrase, day-to-day, in news conferences. But Tim Grover is trying to say that every injury has a story behind it. Jordan, Kobe, and Wade have learned this the hard way. A chain reaction that is about to break if nothing is done. Right now, Caitlin's story is fair. She plays in a way that is naturally explosive. Many fans like how outgoing and sometimes risky she is, and they also like how quick and surprising she is when she plays. It's funny that the same explosiveness can become her biggest threat if she isn't grounded. When you are going fast and can't slow down, you are weak. Cracks show up when you are strong but not balanced. Also, the problems get worse when your body is overdeveloped in some places and ignored in others, no matter how much tape or therapy you use. In this case, Grover's warning makes sense. Accumulation, small mistakes, subtle imbalances, and mistakes that can't be seen have killed elite players. These things become huge problems when playing at the highest level. It's not enough to ask if Clark can get better. It will depend on how many people in her area know the difference between being healed and being ready to play. It is important to note that restoring efficiency does not mean fixing a strain. There might not be any more swelling in the tissues. But it's not enough if she doesn't have good neuromuscular control, her hips aren't balanced, or her gait has been changed to make up for it. There is going to be a train wreck. Fans should be aware of what's going on since a huge pressure loop is now forming. People are calling Clark the WNBA's rescuer. Millions of fans look up to her as an example. Her team depends on her to lead them. Every time she appears, ratings and ticket sales go through the roof, and items sell out very quickly. Her success, on the other hand, puts her in a tough spot. She is too important to take a break, but she can't do her best because she is sick. Then what takes place? She still plays, but for fewer minutes and at a slower pace because of her injuries. Still, she keeps playing, and each time, the damage gets worse. The system has not had enough time to reset. When you don't have time, injuries get worse. It's like putting a broken phone screen back in your pocket over and over again. In theory, it might still work, but after too many drops, it will break. That is the risk that the WNBA is taking. What is the point? A few more news stories. Another crowd that was sold out. No, that's not a plan. There is a chance. This plan puts Clark's safety at risk and hurts the league's reputation in general. What message does this send to stars of the future? Could-be stars Paige Bueckers and Caitlin Clark are among the next generation of athletes who are watching from high school or college. What message are we sending them about the outdated ways that injuries are treated in this league compared to men's sports? Your workload will be set by broadcast deals, not body tests. Your recovery depends on how well tickets sell and how fast the team moves, not on medical need. Having talent alone is not enough. To handle it, the infrastructure needs to get bigger. The truth is that everyone needs to aim for excellence. Coaches, trainers, therapists, CEOs, strength and conditioning staff, and players all take part. High success doesn't work when things go wrong, communication breaks down, egos get out of hand, or money worries take precedence over health concerns. This is a bad sign for careers. Michael Jordan's unmatched play wasn't a fluke. He had a team that helped the squad. Grover was one of them. His own physical trainer was also there for him. They also made sure that his biomechanics were set up correctly. Jordan did the right thing by paying attention. He looked at things in the big picture. He didn't play all the way through. He got the right kind of recovery. He changed the way he walked, which made his best years last much longer than anyone thought they would. Caitlin Clark should have the same chances as everyone else. Please read this. Please let us know what you think in the comments. Make sure you don't miss anything by subscribing and turning on all notifications. When you click on the movie, we'll see you in the next one.